Hi, my name is Amy. Thank you very much for watching, and let's make some bad financial decisions together. This is for entertainment purposes only, so if you're entertained, please like and subscribe. I'd really appreciate that. So, before we begin, I'd like to let you all know that one of yous rejected her lambs, and so I will be bottle feeding some lambs for the next month or so. And that involves for the first week me feeding them every 2 hours. So these videos might get really interesting as I get more and more sleep deprived, just forewarning you. But today I'd like to go over Fienal because I was rude to the creator, and the context was that it was over Reddit, and I didn't actually take the time to check out what their website was. They just posted in the "Are investing for beginners," and I just felt like the way that they presented the app was not a good fit for that sub. So, and it was mostly just that they didn't explain it. And also, there's a way to go about advertising your stuff on Reddit, and Reddit makes you be like a good citizen before you start posting random stuff. And so they're very excited, and they just haven't figured out how to communicate their product yet. And they also haven't figured out monetization, because this is completely free. There's no coffee, there's no way to pay this person. And of course, now I'm going through their history. It's cost them $200 already somehow. I'm unsure because mine hosting is $5 a month, plus if I go over on usage, so maybe $7 to $10 a month. And then my domain was like $12. So I don't, they do them, but it was costing me several $100s to start this with their APIs or whatever they're using. And I'm using a free Polygon.io is to get stock numbers now. So what I'm saying is keep your costs low, figure out how to get people to pay you. But I mean, they could start a Patreon or whatever they want to do, but that's not really the point. The point is, what is this? Who is it good for? So their premise was actually just like, they think that learning finance is boring, and that they think that there's too much reading and technical jargon, whatever. So they made little lessons. And I think most people like to organize things in the way that it makes it helpful for them to understand. So I do appreciate this. So, and I also think that these are not harmful things to learn, like the psychology of money, the time value of money, inflation, interest. I've not gone into any of these. And then chapter 2 is creating a budget, understanding credit debt, building emergency fund, insurance as protection. I think this is where we lose me as a beginner's thing, because it really should be like, what is investing? What is the S&P 500? How to open up a brokerage account, invest in VU, figure out the 3-fund portfolio, DCA. Okay, we got to DCA together, but basically you should just DCA into VU or the S&P 500, learn all the basics and why. And I don't agree with people that say like, well, just do VTI and don't do any research whatsoever. And it's like, no, you have to understand why the S&P. You should understand why total world. Like, don't just take some stranger yelling at you on the internet and like very confidently telling you that they're right. Don't let that be a thing. Actually go, and even if you're just going into ChatGPT or Perplexity AI and be like, why does everybody say VTI or VU? And, if you really need to learn or like have questions about how to compare things, I think that AI is actually doing a pretty good job of explaining things and it not being complete textbooks of walls of information. See, you don't need to know how to do financial statements. You don't need any of this. You literally can just rip chapter 4 out. You don't need to know it. I guess we could do this. I've never read any of these. I think behavioral finance might actually be interesting. So, like the psychology and what makes you feel and how to hedge and like what you're doing and why you're doing it, I think are legitimate things that this could do. But I don't think that you need to learn how to analyze stocks and do anything like that, because the majority of people being in broad market index funds will get them most of the way there. And then by the time you're ready to do single stock investing, they'll give you time to go and have gotten the education that you need in order to do this. But I think it would be good for us to take one of these lessons. So I guess we'll just start with lesson 1, chapter 1. Oh, wow. That is, in fact, a wall of text. They said that they thought that learning finance was boring. So I was expecting them to use something like Phaser and like 2D gaming to make it more like a graphic novel, like someone actually speaking to me that's the Phoenix Wright detective type thing where it's on the screen. Anyways, I'm not reading this to you. Why is there literally a formula here? No, you don't need to know that. But so it is true that there are risks, and you should understand the risks: the market risk, the credit risk, the inflation risk, the liquidity risk, the single stock risk, cover call risk, my misunderstanding of the rules risk. I always think like the unknown risks, macroeconomic risks, my household risks, the usual. I mean, this doesn't, it's not a ball of text. I mean, no, I don't want to go to lesson 2. Thanks. I don't know what DIMs are. But there are games. And I don't want to play either of them. But I guess we'll go to the collapse. A booming economy fueled by a housing bubble. When I was in college, we had to take a finance class, and I think I've told you this before, but like the professor was terrible. But the only things I got away from that was invest in the S&P 500, and he talked so passionately about the housing crisis that I thought it had already happened. So when it did happen, I was like, well, yeah, of course. So, what a time we live in. So housing prices will never fall. You're promising a fund manager with $1 million to invest. The goal is to maximize returns while avoiding the traps of greed, overconfidence, and poor decision making. I think I'll be Oh, okay. I think that's... What are you doing? We're just gonna go with $1 million in the S&P 500. Continue. Wow. Continue. Yeah, just continue. Oh no, yeah, but no, it is literally just time to continue. I don't know what liquidity starved analyst is, but I made 28% in the stock market, so right. You know what's even easier to do than this? And I swear to you, just go to portful.io. No, it's testful.io. Oops. This one. Close. Okay, so we go to when was the 2006 market crash? Like what actual date was it? It was in May. Okay. Close enough for me. So we'll just say not in the future. 2006, and we'll say in March. And then we'll end it here. We start with what, like $1 million? That's 100,000, so close enough. And yearly, and then add an empty portfolio, and we'll just say like boo. 100%. And then you can, and I believe that sometimes the results can be different if you test them side by side for testful.io. So this is VU. This is the 60/40 bond that they would recommend back then. And then I think it would be something like VHT and what's a like O, and this is just me going off. We'll just do VTI for kicks, right? And we'll say like 33, 3, 34. Anyways, let's go backtest this. So if you had just invested in the S&P 500 right before the market crash, okay, something happened and we're only in September of 2010, which is not helpful for this scenario. Let's see if we can just trash this and try again. I'm going to have to look back at the inception date if it doesn't do that. Okay. Well, Vu was not even around then. Can we just do like the S&P 500? What's a mutual fund that was around during the... I don't think it mattered. Okay, I'm sorry. I would go back and do this, but I have to go feed the lambs soon. So here's what we're going to do instead of trying to do the 2006. We'll fast forward to 2022. That was a crash, right? We'll just do January 1st, 2022, and we'll add the VHT you know what? We're gonna do UPro and actually I don't know if stocks has been around that much, but sorry, no, it's like TMT, TMF, 60, 40, and we'll backtest. Oops. Boo. Wow, okay, we're batting 1,000 over here. Okay. So, if you had been in just the leveraged versions of the S&P 500, then you would still be very much down. But if you had just invested in the S&P 500 from January 3rd, 2022 until now, you would have more money than if you were just in VU. And then we're gonna do just for giggles, VU, SCHG, SCHD, and so 34, 33, and 33. And then could we do okay, we'll just do like $200 monthly. We'll backtest. So if you had done VU at 100%, you would have $130,000. But if you would do the modern portfolio that Professor G, what he recommends, you would have, $300 more now if you had done this right before the market crash in 2022. And then this is the traditional, like, bogglehead way of doing it. It's just like VU and bond. So you would have if you had just done the 60-40 like this, I don't think you would look back and be like, wow, I wish that I had just been in VU, because the maximum drawdown on this, it's virtually the same anyways, but you wouldn't have wanted to be completely in UPro or TMF because you would have a lot less money. But, and hear me out, if you don't get the timing completely wrong and it's not 60% of your portfolio, UPro can just like enhance your S&P 500 returns. So all I'm saying is that Testfolio is a better backtesting tool because it has the information there. This isn't a wall of text. You can buy them a coffee if you like them. And this is not telling you that you shouldn't be investing in this 500, because it's literally the lesson that you should learn from this. But so I don't know if I can recommend this, but it's a free country and it's a free app. So anyways, I hope that you all have fun, and let me know if I'm being too hard on this person. I'm trying to keep an open mind, but like, I think it's a good idea for people that in theory, this is a good idea for people that might be hesitant, or like at the beginning, well, not really at the beginning of their financial journey, but if this really was just like mini games and learning psychology and the S&P 500, I would recommend this to people that were beginning their investing journey and like just literally don't know where to start, because we gamify everything. But if the lesson's going to be don't invest in the S&P 500 and trying to make you learn how to do analyze charts and stuff, like, no. We're good. You can go to testful.io and make your own portfolios and do back testing, and there's other easier tools to use, and there's so many online learning resources, and but I thought I'd give them a chance. So I will talk to you all later. Bye.